got to the showgrounds and I just schooled Platy for our rides tomorrow. She was super spicy but super good, so I'm really hopeful that it's gonna be a good show. It is currently 6:30 in the morning, and because I am the first class of the day, I have to get up super early. We're gonna go head to the showgrounds, and I'm really hopeful it's gonna go well. I'm gonna be doing 2.70s rounds with Platinum. It is a beautifully cold day up here at Paso Robles Horse Park, and here is Platinum Doll after her bath. Hi, honey. I just finished walking my course. It's a little simple, but I'm pretty excited for it. So we're gonna get on in about 30, and hopefully it's gonna go well and she doesn't try and kill me. As you can tell from my hair, I just got done with my rides for the day. The first one, it didn't look too bad, but I decided to retire because I was just not getting my distances or my lines. I was like falling in a ton, but the second ride went pretty well. Did knock a rail on fence 8, but I'll explain that in the video of me actually riding. Because, well, I didn't mean to knock the rail. The reason why we did knock the rail, I did choose to do. It's important to remember that for these rides, this is my first show of the year on a schooling horse who I don't normally ride. So this first round is really just a warm-up round for me to get in the ring and find something that we need to improve on. And believe me, there was no shortage of things I needed to improve on. You'll see we have a halfway decent canter transition, and I'm gonna take a big circle around to fence 1. Platy is very hard to get in front of your leg, so that's why I chose to take a large circle to fence number 1, in hopes I could get enough pace. Fence 1 was okay, but she flipped her hind end way more than I expected, so it kind of put me off guard, and I tried to hold her back, which led to us having a refusal. This is the first time I have ever seen this horse refuse, so that was pretty impressive of me to pull out. But I said, okay, now, because I had a refusal, I'm obviously not going to pin in the ribbons. My goal is just to get over all the fences and try and curb this flipping of the hind end thing, because it's the .70s. There's no reason for her to do it, but she keeps doing it pretty much at every single fence. So I kind of give up, and I'm just like, okay, well, she's jumping .80s, .90s, flipping her hind end in the .70s, but she's feeling herself, so that's what matters. This line is going to be particularly rough because she likes to fall into the left. I got a really big chip in there, and I felt her trying to rush here, so I was like, nope, we're trotting this. Because at the end of the day, I would rather trot a fence or take a rail down than have her learn to rush, especially because she teaches kids. Here is fence 8 where I take the rail down because, again, I was trying to get her to hold instead of rush, and I ended up deciding to retire here because most of our distances were pretty bad, and I just needed to take a mental breather because that round did not go how I wanted. And we are back again for round 2. I chose to slice that fence 1, and so coming up to fence 2, I would have enough room to make sure I had enough pace because I did not want a refusal the second time. That would be embarrassing. But we were moving here. I know it doesn't really look like it, but this is the Grand Prix ring, and we got all of our horse strides, even though she is a pony with a very limited stride. I actually considered taking one out here, but I instead was just like, let's just get the horse striding done because last round was a disaster. You'll see her throw in some bucking and tossing of the head every now and then because I'm trying to hold for a nice, consistent, clear and clean round, and she just wants to run. So this one, I was just very concerned about getting a better distance to that last fence, and we did. Here, she rushed really hard, so I held her. I was like, we are not rushing after, and we took her rail down. She still tried to rush, so when we went to fence 9, I was like, nope, we are trotting. I do not care what you want to do. Because hot tip, if your horse is trying to rush, just take them down a gate. They want to go fast, just don't let them go fast. We took a very nice inside turn right there, all the way to our last fence, which we absolutely bodied. This was a decent round. We actually pinned, even though we took a rail and trotted. Hey guys, I'm sitting in the setup. Yesterday was crazy. I helped hand walk a bunch of horses, helped do grain, all that stuff, so I didn't get a ton of footage. I actually did ribbon in my last class, the one I didn't retire from somehow. Even though I trotted and took a rail, I took 5th out of 9th. So that's pretty good. And you know, of course, we have to say hello to the best pony ever, Miss Platinum. Hi. She is absolutely not interested in me, but that's okay, we love her. Okay, I just finished my rounds, as you can tell by the post hairnet hair, but they went so much better than last time. I mean, they weren't perfect by any means, but I went clear. I did go overtime on both rounds, however, most people did, and I got some really, really nice turns. I also got some really bad turns, but we're not gonna talk about those. But as we know, when you're at a horse show, you shouldn't be competing against everyone else. You need to compete against yourself. And I did so much better, so I am so happy. Also, sorry for all the noise. It's the last day, so everyone is taking down all their setups and stuff. So there's gonna be a lot of background noise. And this is my first round for Sunday. As you can see, the sun is not out, it was overcast, and it was cooler by about 15 degrees. So I was a little nervous for this because she gets super pumped when the weather drops, and when Platinum gets pumped, she likes to party, swap her leads. We actually call her the queen of swapping because she loves to do it so much. Here, I was just trotting her around the ring, putting her next to the speakers, and looking at some scary fences before we take off. We did end up getting most of our horse strides in this class, which I was pretty excited about. We were approaching this first fence and I didn't see anything, so we chipped in. I took a pretty wide turn to fence 2 because of the chip and because we needed to correct our lead. Fence 2 we sliced and it went pretty okay. So I was like, we're gonna take a tighter turn to fence 3, and I had to really leg it here. We didn't end up making the horse stride, but we did jump fence 4 pretty cute, so I wasn't too upset. This turn is super fun. We jump fence 5 and immediately take a super tight turn to fence 6. I knew she could handle it. That turn is pretty hard because she likes to drift left and you have to hold her with your left leg so she doesn't absolutely drift. Fun fact, my leg was actually out of its socket for this round, so that was not helpful. For those of you who don't know, I have EDS. Any jump we took towards the in-gate, she powered up on for some reason, but that's okay, it made for some super cute fences. Now, here I decided to slice this jump a little bit because we had a turn to our last line. We chipped in there, she's super cute with her knees as always, and we got a pretty good jump to that one, and she decided to party a little bit after. But overall, I was super happy with how that went. Now for round 2. This is the classic round, and if you don't know what a classic in jumpers means, it's basically the same exact thing, except you can win money. So I was super excited because how cool would it be to win money at a horse show? This is actually the first ever classic class I've ever been in. I was pretty pumped and I decided I was gonna take a lot more risks, even if it was gonna make the jumps a bit messy. I decided to do this because she's been over jumping most fences, so I figured if we came in super tight or got a bad distance to one, it wouldn't matter because she's been over jumping everything anyways. Our second round is always better. We jumped this one super cute. I sliced it, so I didn't take that tight of a turn to fence 3, and we again got a pretty decent jump. in there. It was a chip, but it was still cute. Now we went up that line, and I went a little tighter than I should have on this rollback, but I figured it would save us a couple seconds, and I desperately wanted to place in the top 3 for this round. So we go up to this fence, and she tries to yeet down. Of course, I don't let her. That's why we, of course, get that fun head toss. I turn her to this fence. We trot it because she sucked onto the in gate, and I just figured trotting would get us a much better distance than a horribly sliced chip in. For this fence, once again, I sliced it, and I took a super tight turn here, and I ended up almost slicing this line, which I decided I didn't want to do, so that's why I threw in that trot step. And we went to the inside of that fence, and we got a pretty decent time. We, of course, need to give her her post-ride treats because she is such a good girl. Buddy! Good girl. Good girl. And of course, I need my post-ride human treats as well. After this, we loaded her up and sent her home on her way. I just got home and showered from the horse park, and now it is time to reveal what I got for my last 2 classes. So I got a 3rd in my normal class and a 3rd in the classic. If you zoom in, it says classic right there. And because I got 3rd, I actually won a little bit of money. So it was a $200 classic. Let's open it up. Okay, so they got a little card to remind us of when the rest of their show dates are. We are definitely going to be showing there again. I don't have a lot of luck at that showgrounds, but it's so gorgeous. I love going. And we won a whole $30. I'm super proud of how we did. It wasn't perfect, but this horses, nothing's ever going to be perfect. And all things considered, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. If you've watched all this way to the video, thank you so much. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all that jazz. If not, that's okay. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, don't die out there.